Welcome back, everyone, to another Eats Beats Live, the most delicious live stream in the Metroplex. I'm Bud Kennedy.
And Steve Wilson.
Steve Wilson is here today. So we have, it is nearly Valentine's Day. So we know what people want to talk about in February. Really, Valentine's doesn't have to be just one night. You could go out the weekend before, you could keep going out after. But, Valentine's is a big restaurant night. Everybody wants to get it just right. And so our guest today is from Ellerbe Fine Foods, Molly McCook. Hello, Molly.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Tell us
How
a
are y'all
little bit,
doing?
first of all, for people who don't know, Ellerbe, of course. Oh, I forgot to write down the address on Magnolia on the south side of Fort Worth, but it's been there 15 years. But tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to start this kind of Louisiana themed white tablecloth restaurant that people have called Fort Worth's little version of a Brennan's or a Commander's Palace, and what we have now, how it's evolved over the years. So talk a little bit about yourself and about Ellerbe.
Sure. So I am from Shreveport, Louisiana. Me and my business partner, Richard King. And so we went to school together, both grew up in Shreveport. And then went our separate ways for college. I headed out towards the West Coast and did culinary school in San Francisco and stayed in California cooking in San Fran and in LA for a while. And then moved back to Texas, and I recruited Richard, who was a TCU grad, to come on board with me and run the front of the house, and I'm in charge of the back of the house for Ellerbe. So we've been on Magnolia now for 15 years, which is so crazy. But yeah, we're 15 years in the making. So if you come to Ellerbe, you'll definitely see the Louisiana influences, like you said, from our childhood. And also you'll get a good taste of the farm to table. We love seasonal cuisine. I work very closely with the farmers in the area and ranchers. So everything is always seasonal and has a little bit of a California feel because of that.
What is Valentine's Day like for you? How much pressure is there to deliver on Valentine's Day?
It is one of the top nights of the year for sure. So it's right up there with Mother's Day because we got to always keep the moms happy, But Valentine's and Mother's Day are huge for us, and they mean a lot because it's such a special time for everybody who's dining that evening. It's a special night, special occasion for everyone, and we always want to make sure that they are getting the full Ellerbe experience and enjoying their time and mostly enjoying the company that they're with that evening. So we love to offer a few choices just to keep it more simple and streamlined, but give a little bit of everything so we can accommodate a larger crowd that night.
Yeah, it's you sent a few photos. What dish is this?
That is a redfish with some local okra and a tomato sauce, some wild rice from South Louisiana. We did
Sounds.
that last summer.
Mhm.
So this year with Valentine's, we are looking to incorporate some prime rib, and we're going to do some rainbow trout as well. So there'll be fish options, beef options, a little bit of everything. And of course, we're always accommodating to vegetarians, vegans, or gluten-free, any of those type of allergies.
I looked at the Valentine's menu. I saw the prime rib, the trout, apple pecan salad. I also saw some floral references, a three lily something, and then something. There was there was a dessert. I thought at first it said lemon and poppies, but puppies, but it said lemon and poppies.
Lemon and poppies, yeah. And our soup this for that evening will be a 3 lily potato soup. So think of your classic potato soup, nice, warm, comforting. And then we add the 3 lilies being shallots, leeks, and onions. Because not everyone realizes that all of those are part of the lily family. So we're going to caramelize that and add a little depth to the potato soup. And then for dessert, we're doing a lemon and poppies. So it's a play on flowers and lemons. And so we'll have poppy seeds and some fresh citrus to go through it, because right now we are in citrus season, and being in Texas, got to get a hold of your oranges and grapefruits. I know everyone's having their ruby reds right now. So
Get them while you can. But how much does the
exactly.
menu change for people who said, well, I've been to Ellerbe, it was the same, how much does the menu change and evolve over the seasons?
We're constantly changing depending on the weather, what's going on with the farmers and their availability. So we'll do a complete overhaul, absolutely new menu from start to finish about 5 times a year. Then within each one of those, you think it would just be the 4 seasons, but we're in Texas. So we get, right now we have spring in February, and then we'll have winter again in the beginning of April. So we end up having to roll some extra dishes in there. So you could see 7 or 8 dishes per menu change. So we're looking at close to about 80 different menu items throughout the year. We rarely do we repeat.
I noticed the Valentine's menu is more of a citrus menu than a winter menu. So, Steve?
It is.
Yeah, I was gonna say the bread pudding. Now that you have that all the time.
Oh my
right?
gosh.
Mama's
Steve,
bread
show us.
pudding.
Oh
It is
my
a
gosh,
staple.
look at that.
Yeah, we
Oh,
opened with that, and it has never left the menu. It is the only thing that has never left the menu. So
I can't even stand the
Mama
look.
is my grandmother, and she is one of my biggest influences in my cooking. She lived on Ellerbe Road, and so that is why we're even named Ellerbe Fine Foods. So this was her recipe.
I can't even
The
look at
only
it.
recipe I don't give out.
It's too frightening.
So
I can't even look at it.
whiskey sauce and everything.
Is it gone? Have you taken it
Yeah,
down?
yeah. Well, okay, I'll put it back up for a second.
Oh,
Those pecans, those are candy
oh my
pecans.
gosh. I can't look at that bread pudding. It is the best bread pudding, I think. And it's just it's really a phenomenal bread pudding. And I don't really know what makes it. Are you allowed to disclose what makes it different from everybody else?
Sure. I think what's different is that it's so light compared to most people think of that really dense, heavy, bread pudding that's really compact. This is
It's
super
yesterday's dried
light.
up dinner rolls is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. And that's not how this is at all. It's not, and with the cinnamon and then that whiskey sauce, it just kind of pulls it all together.
It's remarkable. You did not tell us, and you may not know since you're the chef, but do you know the price of the Valentine's dinner you were talking about?
Sure. We're doing 4 courses, and it's $125 a person.
Per person, okay.
Yep.
That's a little bit in the high end. Some of the restaurants that went high on New Year's Eve have come back down and gone to a much lower budget conscious Valentine's. You all are kind of are on the higher end probably for the local market. How's business? Is business still good? Are you able to drive the price like that?
Well, we're not really the ones driving the price. As everyone knows, when you go to the grocery store, everything is more expensive. So it's the same thing with us. The way that we calculate our pricing has not changed. We're actually have lowered it compared to the way that it was before inflation really kicked in right now. So we believe in offering high quality, and we do not change off of that. So could we get a less expensive cut of prime rib? Could we get a less expensive fish? Sure, we could do that, but we go for quality, and we feel we see that with our customers, and they appreciate that.
Are you open for lunch on Valentine's Day? You have a less expensive lunch menu.
No lunch. We actually are not doing lunch anymore. We have not done lunch since pre-COVID, but we do now have an aperitif hour since we acquired our liquor license. We now have cocktails. And so we have a full bar menu with all different bar snacks, which change again seasonally. And we open now at 4:00 for that every day, Tuesday through Saturday.
Steve, do you have any more temptations to show us?
Well, do you like oysters?
Now that's a very interesting oyster.
Sure.
Molly, tell us.
That is a play on your fried green tomatoes that we did. We took some green tomatoes first of the season, so before they got ripe from the market, wrapped it in applewood smoked bacon and grilled that. And then instead of frying the green tomato, we cornmeal crusted and fried oysters, Gulf oysters. Those go on top with a Creole mustard aioli.
And we should tell people what's on the regular menu. If you go and it's not Valentine's Day, what are the things on the menu that you would most like people to focus on? What are the things on the menu that you do best?
We do a bit of it all,
Oh, come on, pick
the
something out.
menu's laid out. We do. It's laid out to sit and enjoy 3 courses. So for our appetizers, you'll always see salad. We'll also always have a seafood appetizer. We'll have something hot. Our soups are always very popular. And then for our entrees, we usually do 2 or 3 different fish or seafood options, and then a few other proteins, 1 or 2 steaks. We're not a steak restaurant. There's plenty here in Fort Worth that are amazing, and that is not where we focus our attention, but we do love a good steak. So we always have a chef's cut of some sort. And then we also love bringing in some local or different proteins. Like right now we have some duck confit on. Sometimes we'll do wild game, just a bit of it all.
I tell people to, focus first on the Louisiana dishes, the seafood and anything with the mock shoe. Tell them, do you still have something with the mock shoe right now?
Nothing with mock shoe right now, but we are going to, starting in Lent right after Mardi Gras, we'll start having seafood specials every weekend. So I have a good feeling that you'll see some redfish with mock shoe because we hear requests for that quite often. So.
And you mentioned Mardi Gras. I mean, we do need to note that Mardi Gras is the night before Valentine's Day this year. So
Yes.
if you're particularly observant, then you might want to have your Valentine's the night before, or you roll your Mardi Gras and Valentine's into one if you have something you're having to give up the next day. So, or you could just go out on Mardi Gras and then sleep through Valentine's Day. But that,
It all works.
either way, they come back to back. You probably
Yeah.
went to a lot of Mardi Gras in Louisiana, didn't you?
We do. Shreveport has always had a Mardi Gras, and so it's been a lot of fun. And now I bring my daughters with me, and so we have a great time with that. It's
Where do you
definitely
eat
more
when you go to
family
Shreveport?
friendly.
Where should
I'm
we eat
sorry?
in Shreveport? Where should we eat in Shreveport?
Oh
Where do you
my
like to go
goodness.
when you go to
Well,
Louisiana?
I always go to Herbie K's. That's my favorite. It's been there forever. So I always have to stop at Herbie K's. And then if you want the Tex-Mex, everyone loves Superior. So those are the childhood memory restaurants for me, for sure.
I had the proud pleasure once of going to, was it Pete Harris?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, Pete
yeah,
Harris, yes, and his stuffed
yeah,
shrimp. Yes,
yeah.
those are
Great old
amazing.
timey. Great old timey place.
Yes.
Well, let me tell people about, if you don't have Valentine's reservations yet, you said Ellerbe you have some primetime reservations or?
We do. We do. We're
Okay.
doing it as a ticketed event. So you can either call in to the restaurant to make your reservation, or you can go online at Ellerbe Fine Foods, and we're through Resi. And it's just a ticketed event with a deposit, and that'll hold your spot.
Some of the other restaurants with reservations, when I checked this, and we're doing this in the first week of February, Istanbul, which I've gone to for Valentine's before, which has a very nice Turkish menu. If you can get that corner table at 3rd and Throckmorton in the windows at Istanbul, it's one of the most romantic places or anywhere along those windows. Quince, which is a lot of fun. It's allowed for an older person, but they do have a back dining room. It's a little quieter. Quince has a new menu that blows the doors off the old menu. And everything at Quince really, really is just stunningly improved. They have some like 8 o'clock, 8:30 reservations. Michael's has some reservations online. And let's see, and then some of the more familiar Philippe Armendi restaurants, the Tavern, Press Cafe, they have some reservations. Although the Le Margot, the really nice French restaurant, doesn't. If you're in Arlington, then Cut and Bourbon at the Lowe's has some tables available. Zach's Bistro, which is the former owner of Chop House there, who the owner of Chop House in Fort Worth has his little place, and Pico Armando, which is the old traditional Italian place. They have some reservations online. I look at opentable.com, resi.com, talk.com, and there are a few places you can reserve, including Cheesecake Factory on yelp.com. So those are the websites that I check. You had a tip. You and I talked off air about a tip about tables at the last minute for Valentine's. Molly, talk about that.
Yes, we always see a few cancellations the day before or two. So if you're really wanting to get in somewhere, it's never a bad idea to put your name on the wait list, but also just call and check the online the day before, because people definitely cancel. Things come up, as we all know.
Steve, have you got your reservations in?
No reservations this time. Maybe if I'm feeling good Tuesday, I'll take a look around.
Molly also said that some people do double book, and they'll book two restaurants and then cancel one at the last minute. Like, somebody might book Ellerbe and Don Artemio, and then maybe cancel one at the last minute. But of course, I don't know anybody who would ever do that. But
Never.
never. But that was New Year's Eve. So that some people do that, but that you could always get last minute reservations somewhere. Maybe not exactly the place you wanted. Maybe not Capitol Grill. You might have to sell for Del Frisco's. Maybe Eddie V's. Take a look around. But remember, everybody, think beyond the steakhouse on Valentine's Day. It doesn't have to be steak day. Molly, any thoughts about the restaurant picture in general in Fort Worth? We've had some places closing, new places that didn't make it. What do you think in general is going on in Fort Worth?
There's definitely a big shift right now. We're seeing, like you're saying, places that have been around for a while closing, or places popping up for a very short time and then closing. So I think it's just a cyclical time here for Fort Worth. As we grow, so is the restaurant industry in general. So we're all just trying to figure it out and spread the wealth with our customers. And so it's definitely changing, but it's also for the better for a lot of us. It keeps us all on our toes and keeps us inventive and trying new things and pushing the envelope for what we're doing.
Nobody is really in your market. I think Ellerbe and Grace and Paris 7th are the three really nice restaurants that you can just reliable local restaurants to take someone. I guess Adam would want me to mention 61 Osteria too, along with Grace, but I think that those are the really nice places. And of course, the older Saint Emilion is casual country bistro, but still just as beautiful as ever. But I think those are always the ones I mention when someone asks for the best restaurants in town. I'm surprised no one has come along and tried to reach that level and tried to do something really nice. Are you surprised that at some of the market or some of the other entries that have come? Nobody's trying to beat you.
Well, thank you. I think that the fine dining is a really hard spot to be in. As we've already mentioned, price points are up, and there's no denying that. But also with employment, it's hard to find enough hands in Fort Worth right now to help in kitchens and in the front of the house. So to put yourself at a level of fine dining, you really are striving for something, and that's, it's a commitment for sure. So some of these larger companies that are, maybe it's not a local one shop kind of deal, it's hard to stretch yourself that thin.
We're talking with Molly McCook from Ellerbe. Steve, any more questions?
Did we talk about wine?
Well, go ahead.
We always have wine, lots and lots of wine at Ellerbe. That's for sure.
And you have craft cocktails now too, is that right?
We do. We're really excited about that. So we now offer a full bar menu, but we try and keep it focused on Southern flavors. So we have, like, instead of our old fashioned, we have a Southern fashion that's using some bitters out of New Orleans with a little sweet potato infusion, little tweaks like that you'll see. We also have a seasonal cocktail because we love doing anything seasonally at Ellerbe. So we've got a great cocktail menu. And then we also have all of the great wines that Richard has really put Ellerbe on the map for. And we're still doing our wine dinners as well, which are a lot of fun if you want to try one of those for a special occasion.
I would think coming into Ellerbe, I think I'd want a nice Sazerac. I think it'd have I think I would want a little bit of a New Orleans drink to go with dinner at Ellerbe. So.
Oh, we have that for sure. And right now we're actually, until Mardi Gras, we're doing gumbo to go with our house-made hurricanes. So it's not the red dye hurricane. This is all fresh fruit juice and rums. And so you can do our turkey and sausage, turkey and andouille gumbo to go with the hurricanes to go as well. And mama's bread puddings.
Turkey and turkey gumbo and bread pudding and a hurricane to go.
You can buy the wine to go, right? Too, by the bottle.
We do. We do, for sure.
That's right. They have the whole Ellerbe market in front and now the bar. So, well, I think that, Ellerbe has evolved so much and, changed to keep up with the times. And it's still one of the restaurants that people talk about constantly in Fort Worth. Molly McCook, we've been thrilled to have you here with us. And we know that you'll be busy on Valentine's Day. And if you don't get to go to Ellerbe on Valentine's Day, it's not long till Easter or Mother's Day. So, be sure and plan on Mother's Day. So, Steve, any more questions?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, until next time, I'm Bud Kennedy.
And Steve Wilson.